This is Robin on the Road, your concierge for all things travel, and today I'd like to take you on a tour of the Passageway at Monticello, home of 3rd President Thomas Jefferson. Pack your bags, let's go! As we round the corner, the Passageway is an excellent demonstration about how the South really felt about slavery. Everything was kept hidden, even though people knew what made the economy of the South work. And it's through this passageway that we will learn the stories of some of the house slaves at Monticello. Priscilla Hemings was the property of daughter Martha Jefferson Randolph and her husband. Married to joiner John Hemings, she lived on Mulberry Row and was in charge of the grandchildren who were not in school. Burwell Colbert was the grandson of Elizabeth Hemings and inherited by Jefferson from his father-in-law. At the age of 10, he began working in the nail-making shop located on Mulberry Row. He will become Jefferson's enslaved butler and personal servant when Jefferson retires in 1809, and will manage the housemaids, waiters, and porters, and be entrusted with the keys to the food, wine, and beer storage, the only enslaved person to be granted this. Jefferson will pay Colbert $20 a year, and he is one of the 10 slaves granted his freedom in Jefferson's will. Working as an enslaved houseboy, Israel Gillette will work with Burwell Colbert by running errands, carrying wood and water, stoking the fires in the home. He is the driver of Jefferson's Landau carriage and will be sold after Jefferson's death in 1826. He will take on the surname Jefferson and purchase his freedom in 1840. From his ancestors, we will learn that he referred to Sally Hemings as Jefferson's concubine. Not surprisingly, along with the stories of the enslaved people, is the representation of Martha Randolph Jefferson, also known as Patsy. Plantations at this time would be run by women, as men were often gone from the house conducting business. This is a 3-mile-an-hour world, and a trip that is 30 miles away would take you 3 days to get to over poorly constructed roads. Also in the passage are Betty Brown and Harriet Hemings. Brown was known as Aunt Bet and was Burwell Colbert's mother, and the first Hemings to arrive at Monticello in 1772. Harriet was likely the child of Sally Hemings and Jefferson. She was a seamstress and wool spinner. Per his agreement with Sally, she will leave at 21 and move to D.C. and pass into the white world. The location and coolness of the passageway make it ideal for the storage of food, beer, cider, and wine. Beer had been produced by Jefferson's wife, but in 1812, Captain Joseph Miller, a captured redcoat and British brewer, was brought to Monticello and produced ale, a more alcoholic form of beer. He taught Peter Jefferson, the enslaved French cook, to brew, and like his cooking, he had success. Jefferson will say Peter Hemings possessed great intelligence. Hemings will not be freed in his will, but sold, and it is thought that he worked as a tailor in Charlottesville, another of his skills. Jefferson's wine cellar reflects the tremendous passion he had. He will purchase wine from abroad, but will also practice viticulture, trying to find the best grapes for Virginia's soil and climate. Only Jefferson's daughter and a few entrusted slaves will have keys to the ware room and storage area. There are 2 very unique items in the passageway. The first is the wine demorator, operated by Burwell Colbert, and the second is a strange-looking object, a glass cylinder with 7 cannonballs inside. I will tell you more about these items on the house tour. The North Wing was built 30 years after the South and is very different in its use. Although indoor privies did not appear in homes until the 19th century, Monticello had 3 inside the home and 2 at the end of the South and North Passage. Slaves were paid gratuities to keep them clean. There was also a necessary located on Mulberry Row. Thank you, fellow traveler, for joining me on this tour of the passageway.
This tour is part of my Monticello deep dive video. Check it out if you get a chance. And please smack that bell and smash that like button. And check out my latest video I just uploaded on Fort Kristana, a civil rights heritage trail in Virginia, and an amazing early American Indian story. This is Robin on the Road, your concierge for all things travel, and I hope to see you out there on a road of your own. Until then, safe travels.